G-Bush, obviously we're all going to have our eyes on the quarterbacks for the first preseason game Saturday, but besides quarterback, what position group are you most interested in watching in the first preseason game?
Man, let me tell you something. I actually think during training camp, the quarterback room has performed better than multiple position groups on the football field. Obviously, we'll let you McNuggets get to a couple of his, but the one thing that I look at is the Browns got like 2 linebackers. Like 2 whole ones. And Carson Schlesinger has been, pretty much held out of practice, most of it. And I don't have a problem with that, but it's him and Quincy Williams. Other than that, if they get any injuries, who are
their third starter on the depth chart is a guy I never heard of.
And guess what? And that third guy on the depth chart, I don't know who it is because I was at practice and I ain't seen him.
Yeah.
Easton.
Well, defensive tackle is another position where everybody's hurt.
Oh, that's a huge. Malik Collins is on the PUP list, or started the season on it. Mike Hall Jr. Looked like he was out there the first couple of days, has missed multiple days in a row. Yeah. Mason Graham has been on and again, off again. And besides those 3, I don't even know if they got impact players behind them. It's that position is another one. And it's not just whether they're good or not, it's the injuries. They are very thin at multiple positions, and they can have one injury where it's like, oh, who's this guy? Who are we playing this guy?
Right.
Let me one up you. And we'll talk receiver and O-line in a sec, because I think that has to be discussed with other things.
Other people's conversations.
That's the obvious answer. But during today's show, the Browns signed cornerback Jeremiah McClendon. Are you familiar with Jeremiah McClendon?
He's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's that?
I'm glad you asked, because that now makes 4 undrafted rookie corners in the 2s and the 3s for the Browns heading to this game against Chicago. I have no doubt that Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell will be fine when the regular season starts. No doubt. But behind those 2, we are looking at a who's who of who's. Yeah, and by that, I mean guys that nobody's heard of. And when we go back and watch a lot of these camp clips, the good passes, the good catches, the big completions, as Tyvis has pointed out, very, very, very often, or infrequently, are you seeing it happen against Denzel or Tyson Campbell. It's always happening against the 2s.
Ross.
And these guys battling, whether it's Ross, whether it's Miles Harden, whether it's McClendon, whether it's McMillan, whether it's the other undrafted rookies that are battling for these spots. Those guys, according to all reports, have been far from impressive. So in a preseason game against whoever Chicago puts out there, we know these undrafted rookies are going to get a chance to show us what they can and can't do. When we're asked, who are you most looking forward to watching? Well, I know it's not the sexy answer because it's not Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion. But the Browns are going to need more than 2 cornerbacks to play throughout the regular season. Injuries happen, and it's a position that sometimes you have 4 guys out on the field at once. I have faith in 2 guys on the Browns roster right now. I have no faith in anyone beyond those 2. And that's why that is my answer to this question.
Let me tell you a camp story that reinforces that. We was out there, and me, Earl, and Tyvis was sitting there watching on the goal line. And it was one of the days that Deshaun Watson had, I think it was like a lot of touchdowns or whatever. And they were running
the red zone drill where he had like 7 touchdowns? Okay.
They was running 2-minute drill, and they had a dude out there that was on covering Denzel Boston, right? But this dude had a linebacker jersey number on. It's like, bro, if you're a corner and you got number 47, you're out of here, bro. Like, your speed is an 82 overall and your awareness is a 4. He had his hands on his legs like this because he was tired and gassed in the 2-minute drill. Then he was like, you know what? I'm going to just sell out and press him. Denzel Boston just was like, what are you doing? Walk around, you touchdown. And, like, it was crazy because people was hyped. And me and Tyvis turned around and looked at each other, was like, hey, bro, that's not happening in real games. And we all looked and said, they're going after that guy. If you got guys that are playing corner that are tired, first of all, that's a bad look.
Second of all, that are that guy, because we all know who that guy is.
Man, that 40, you playing 47, 49, this is like bingo. If you in the 40s, no. That's not a good look. So, yes, corner is a problem, Bull. Big problem.
All right, guys. I I was able to beat it, but I did set my alarm to wake me up from your boring conversation of backup linebackers and third-string corner. I mean, Mike's worried about the third-string corner. This team won 5 games last year. We're worried about the third-string corner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you name a third-string corner on any team in the NFL? They're all anonymous guys. What the hell are you talking about? Nobody's first of all,
you play 3 corners on most plays. Nickel's the most common defensive package.
There's my alarm.
In the
There's
NFL.
my alarm waking us up from the snooze we had to take to talk about the backup corners. Who watches a football game to see backup corners? Are you going to sit and watch the fourth quarter of guys who are going to be on the picket lines next week?
If they get
what are you talking about?
If they getting torched, yeah, we can watch.
Mike, who cares who the fifth and sixth corners are?
Is it not our job to watch the games and find things to talk about?
It's boring.
Why?
Yeah, you talk about interesting things like the fact that this team finally woke up for the first time in 30 years and spent significant draft capital on maybe an important position that they haven't addressed in 30 years, and that's wide receiver.
There you go.
I want to see Casey Concepcion and I want to see Denzel Boston, who are actually going to play this year in games that matter.
Let's go.
Nobody cares about the fourth corner.
You have confidence that Denzel and Tyson Campbell will be the only 2 cornerbacks on the field for 17 games. You make it feel like these guys are never going to play. The third cornerback plays like 60% of the snaps.
The fifth, not the third corner. We know the third corner.
Who's the third corner?
It's Miles Harden.
Okay.
Are you sure it's Miles Harden?
He'll play nickel, but
exactly.
They have nothing to be. But I'm not worried about the nickel.
Who's got 3 great corners? Nobody.
You need more than just guys to be out there that aren't getting torched. Because if those guys are getting torched, it doesn't matter if you have Darrell Revis and Richard Sherman.
Lost in the
They're
soup.
going after that guy.
You're wrong. Nobody's got a third. How many teams have a third corner that's excellent?
You just can't have an absolute dud at third corner.
Here's the thing.
Mike,
here's the thing.
You're out of your mind.
Nobody's
watching this game.
Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward.
The fans don't give a rat's patootie about the fourth quarter battle. I'm not talking about the third corner.
Here's what they will.
We want to watch wide receivers. If G. Bush, you've been screaming about wide receivers for 10, 20 years, and now you don't pick wide receiver.
No, wide receiver be fine.
What do you mean be fine? It's not about what positions stink. It's about the excitement of seeing the wide receivers.
We had a whole conversation at the break saying, all right, we know someone's going to pick receivers. We'll let you get the easy answer. We'll go next. We thought you were going to go first, by the way.
So
give you guys a chance to embarrass yourselves there.
Now, here's the thing, Bull, but guess what? You can be excited all you want. That's great. I want to see Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion, but from what I've seen in practice, they have been the best group.
I know that, but until they play in games, and even preseason doesn't mean that much, we don't know how good they are. We have no idea.
Because they're going against bad backup, third and fourth and fifth string quarterbacks that we got to see.
Every team does that, and their fourth, fifth quarterbacks suck.
Why doesn't every receiver look terrific in practice?
No, it's egregious because, yes, corner is a one position, but they're not grouped together. Yeah. You got corners that play outside corner. You got people that play boundary corner, field corner, boundary corner, and you have a slot corner. Now, slot corner is cool because guess what? There's a different skill set. But here's the point I'm making. Denzel Ward goes out. If Denzel Ward is injured, which he said what he is, the Browns are in trouble.
But the Browns,
trouble.
We know the reality is the Browns are not a good football team, most likely this year. Isn't that most likely the scenario?
Most likely,
Okay, so then, what's going to get me excited at the end of the season is if I feel the chance. The owner already told you the goal is not winning this year. He's already said that.
If the question was, what is the most exciting thing for the 2026 season? Sure. But in one preseason game where we have no idea.
You're really excited to watch who's winning the battle for the fourth and fifth cornerback spots.
If it's not,
you're not.
In all honesty, those guys are going to play 2.5, 3 quarters against
of terrible football against guys who are not going to play in the NFL.
At least we'll know if they have the ability to be in the conversation.
No, we won't. No, we don't.
So now the preseason means nothing to you.
It means
for the
nothing.
back end of the roster.
For the back end of the roster, it means very little to me. It might have more meaning to the coaches. They have things that they're looking for that we don't know. Us watching,
but cornerbacks, we can actually watch and kind of dissect.
You're not dissecting it.
I have Tyvis Powell on speed dial.
Tyvis can dissect it,
and Tyvis will tell me.
It's hard to tell when you're playing against minor league wide receivers.
Yes, I'm going to watch intently.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it from a football perspective. The thing that I always go is, we drill down on the quarterback so much that we forget all the rest of the stuff.
Yes.
And sometimes we like to boil it down to the one person. But let me just tell you something. If your corners ain't good, if your linebackers is shoddy, if you don't have the run game and the offensive line is not producing holes, like, we can't get to week 6 or 7 in the season and be like, it's the quarterback.
But the reality is, the reason the Browns are picked to win 5 games is for their quarterback more than any other thing.
That's true.
But
that's a fact.
But that's the thing that I'm saying to you.
The Browns have good corners, so I'm not going to worry about their fourth corner.
No, the thing I'm saying is, yes, people will pick it, but it does not mean that that is an accurate assessment. The quarterback position is very important, but it's just like we talked about in baseball. Like, yes, pitching matters, but if you don't get no runs, you're screwed. Pitching matters, but if you don't got good defense to be able to make routine plays, you're screwed. Pitching matters, but you need timely hits. So I understand.
Agreed, but the quarterback means more than anything else. And so I just don't. What I want to see is whether it's Shedeur Sanders or a quarterback they're going to draft next year, I want to start seeing the process of the good young skilled position players I think they have, some that I think they have, putting a quarterback next year in good position to win.
So that's
what's important to me. So the fourth cornerback job is irrelevant.
Do you know what we just learned?
What? That people only care about quarterback.
Well, we knew that.
Yeah.
But you and I, diehards. Yeah. We got Adam the Casual to our left.
Listen,
Adam the Casual fan.
Now
I'm sure you'll be talking about the fourth corner at the end of the season.
Guys, real quick.
I dare you to come in Wednesday.
We got about a minute and a half left in the segment. Earl would like to get his thoughts.
Bull, you are so lost in the sauce. I had to stop clipping to come downstairs. Listen to me, man.
Move the camera.
Everybody
I
cares.
see Earl.
What am I lost about?
What
am I lost about, Earl?
Everybody cares about cornerback 3. Okay?
I didn't say
nickel defense. Nickel defense is basically base defense in the
I'm not talking about cornerback 3.
Your third corner is basically a starting corner. Stop being a party pooper, boy.
Yeah. How am I being a party pooper? I'm the one saying the Browns have good
corners. The third corner is where it's at. You're lost in the sauce right now, my man.
I didn't say third corner. He's talking about the 4th, 5th, and 6th corners.
We're talking about
anyone.
We know who the third corner is. You're talking about backup and depth.
I'm saying it's not that important.
It is. Now here's why. Watch this. Watch this.
And by the way, I'm not watching this for the last cornerback battle. I'm watching to see the excitement of the wide receivers.
So
you guys are picking back of the roster position battles.
Because you have the Bengals got their stuff set. They got the quarterback.
What is it? The Bengals have nothing to do with this.
Yes, it does. Because if you say, all right, the Bengals got the quarterback, the Bengals got the running back, they got their 2 receivers set. So when you are watching the games, would you not say that the rest of that matters?
I don't watch the Bengals preseason because preseason's unwatchable.
When somebody talks to you and asks you about what's going on with them, you would say, okay, well, I know I got this over here, but the third corner matters to the Bengals.
I want to see
the third corners matter. The D tackles matter.
I was talking about, when I said backup corner, I was not talking about the third corner. Even still, whatever. I'm not looking. You were talking about the 4th, 5th cornerback. The Browns have one of the best starting cornerback combos in the league. I'm not worried about the 4th and 5th
and
corner.
If you only play 2 cornerbacks for most of the game, I would say, Bull, you're right.
But
nickel defense is the most prominent defense.
I've now said 7 times I'm not talking about the third corner. Cornerback. If Earl and you want to keep bringing up the third corner, that's fine. I still don't care about the...
Do you think Miles Harden's good?
No.
So then it's a battle to see who's going to be third cornerback.
They don't have anybody that's good, so what does it matter?
That's the point.
The only hope for the future of the Browns, the Browns have a good defense. Yeah, there's depth issues, but those are not going to matter now because they're not going to be good now. That will matter more. Next year, if they have a good quarterback situation, and I think the Browns could be a real playoff team, which I think is possible, then I'll care about that stuff more. But if I think the Browns are going to win 5 games, what do I care who the 4th corner is?
Because you're a diehard fan and you want to know the ins and outs.
Because you have to develop them. These people don't just come off trees.
Okay, but I don't have to develop him. That's the coach's job. So I want to see guys who are actually going to play a lot this year, and that's the starting wide receivers for a unit that's garbage.
Watch when these undrafted defensive backs end up playing a ton because of an injury or whatnot. When we say, hey, how'd you think this guy played, Traden McQuindon, And Bull's like, who's that? I'm like,
Yeah.
because you didn't watch the first preseason game against Buffalo.
Yeah, see,
Against Chicago.
Good for you.
For
Good
young-
for you watching the 4th and 5th corner.
for young
Wrap it up.
for young teams, it's important.
That's fake hustle, Mike. You should know about that. Fake hustle. That's fake
For
hustle.
young teams with
Yeah.
young
one
players,
speed.
you have to develop them and you have to see what you got at these positions.
But what is that? You're arguing something. I don't disagree with you. You're right. That has nothing to do. The question was, what am I excited to see? Was that not the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
question.
So I mean, you're really excited to see the 4th and 5th corners
Genuinely,
more
yeah.
than KC, Concepcion, and Boston play their first preseason game? That's crazy.
In a way, I genuinely am. I've been out to practice.
In a way, you've probably been doing too many drugs.
I have not been out to practice yet.
Yeah.
And every
Slacker.
time I talk to, that's fair. Fair.
No, it's not.
I work.
No, it's not.
But no.
Yeah.
Every time I hear a report from practice, it's the same 2 names getting torched by the receivers. So I want to see against.
So you're
others.
excited to see guys who have been getting torched then?
I want to see, can they actually hold up, or if they do,
or if that's
or
the
is
question.
Denzel and KC so good?
So you find that more exciting than seeing 2 young guys you spent high draft picks on make their first preseason game?
Because
Like,
I've seen them. I
practice, that's
but
meaningless.
I've seen them. I liked them coming out of college. Boom. I seen them
You're
in
telling me
practice.
you're not
Boom.
excited to see them play in this game?
What I'm excited to see is the things that I think that Browns need to really solidify.
Okay, then you're excited about things. Like, to me, I'm excited about seeing things that I think can help the team in the future win.
Okay. Yeah, so that's,
And to
that's,
me,
you can pose it
and
that
the
way.
4th and 5th cornerbacks are irrelevant
I'm
because they're not going to be here.
I'm excited to see is the thing I've heard the most of in camp
Yeah.
going to reach its ugly head. So I guess it's
But
depends on how
let
wanna
me
look
ask
at
you
it.
this.
Exciting.
How many wins do you think the Browns are going to have this year?
6.
So does it matter who the 4th corner is?
Yes.
Like, yeah. At
If
the
you
end of the
think
day,
they're going to
yes.
win 6 games, why does it matter?
Why does any of it matter?
Because you're boiling down to a zero-sum game where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, if I don't think that they're going to win over a certain amount, I don't have to pay attention to anything.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying pay attention to the things that are long-term solutions for the Browns.
But those players, they go into why you won 6 games. You just don't magically win 6 games or 8 games. It matters about how people played that go into that total. And a lot of people continue to say it's the quarterback, but if it's just the quarterback, you're not going to care about
Nobody's
none of
saying
it.
it's just the quarterback, but it's obviously by far the most important thing.
If you don't have corners, if you don't
But they have corners. You're saying if they don't have corners.
if you don't have depth, if you don't have depth at these, bro, you play 18 games. You
I
think they're
hear
going to be? Denzel Ward misses 5 games a
I'd
year.
say
almost.
on the list of important things, having a good 4th corner is way down there. I'm not saying it's unimportant, but it's unimportant for a team that's probably going to win 5-6 games.